The Ivories are tickled, and we're tickled pink you're watching us. It's the show right here on Shock TV, 119 episodes in. My name is Matt Carter. Welcome to your television set or computer. And our musical guest right behind me, well, if all was right with the world, you would recognize him. He might be the most pro musical guest we ever had. Tons of touring through in the United States, and very well known in his native Vietnam. James Pham is here. We're going to find out more about him and his music later on this hour. Also on the show this episode, we're big fans of the Eat Local movements. We're going to look at the government-funded BC FoodWorks program, which helps food processors grow their business. I actually used to have a food processor up in my cupboard, but I had to recycle it, and I said to it, well, it's been a slice. Anyways, we're also, thank you for the applause. And there's some booze too. We're also going to do you a favor by not doing that joke again, but also by introducing you to the Nanaimo transplanted prairie couple behind Favour Valley Acres. Not only do these folks grow great food, but they believe in the value of teaching how to grow food to others. We're looking forward to that, especially because my tomatoes were a rather abject failure this summer. Now, in our last episode, we had a segment on end-of-life estate planning. This episode, we're going to have a talk about funeral planning and different ways to hold a funeral or a celebration of life, and also with a bit of a green angle to it as well. Important stuff. It's always good to have positivity and sensitivity when dealing with a grave situation. All right, now chances are I will never have to concern myself with changing my exercise routine when I become pregnant because, well, I have some bigger concerns to worry about if that happens to be the case. But for expectant mothers out there in our viewing audience, do you know the benefits and the risks of exercising while pregnant? Stay tuned to find out. Now, loneliness, not very fun, I'm sure you would agree, so we're going to delve into a program called Age Friendly Nanaimo. It's a program focused on reducing the risk of social isolation within local seniors. Now, we're also going to welcome the director and producer of The Boat to our Shock TV studios to discuss her documentary film about breast cancer survivors and their passion for dragon boating. And the film takes place right here in Nanaimo. We actually have the president of the Dragon Boat Association team here as well. Find out how you can also help out with the post-production of the film. But first here on the show, we're rushing to give you a discussion on percussion without much of a concussion. We're marching to a beat of a different drummer, and it's the show on Shock TV.
Joining a drumming circle, or the power of drumming, or building your own drum. We're in for a real treat tonight. We have VooDoo Dave from Gabriel Island. VooDoo Dave.
Mudge Island, actually.
Mudge Island, excusez-moi. Dave.
That's very good.
Thank you. You're a good teacher.
You've done that before.
Now, Dave, you've built all of these amazing drums with your own two hands.
Yes.
Different shapes.
Different shapes.
Skins.
Different skins.
Walk us through this. Where did you get all these materials? I hear it was a couple of wild turkeys that went missing over on Gabriola and...
Mudge.
Pardon me.
Well, actually, these days I make them, the wood I use is off on Mudge Island. So it's mostly alder or fir or maple. I used to make them out of recycled shipping pallets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you used to get some really nice woods. Of course, now everything's endangered, so, but I mean, you used to, wood from overseas, you get all sorts of mahoganies and teaks. So I just, go to these warehouses and say, are you done with, and they oh yeah, sure, take them. Nowadays, you can't find good wood so now I basically use wood off my property on Mudge.
Very good. And of course, different wood gives us a different sound. Different skin gives us a different sound.
And the shape, definitely the shape is a big thing, but that will give it a different sound.
Let's run through this big brother on the end there. What have we got there, Dave?
Well, these are fashioned after a West African set of drums. They're called Dunoon. They come in 3 sizes. I only have the 2 here. And a lot of the West African percussion that I've studied and that I teach has a lot to do with these drums. They're kind of like the main heartbeat. They set up a nice, actually, when you get all 3 of them going, they all play like, traditionally, there's a bell, and you basically kind of, I don't have any bells, but there's usually a bell strapped to it, right? So you got a bell, and you're playing the bell with a stick, and you're playing the other one head. So you've got 2 patterns already, right? And so you get, each person plays a different pattern, and they kind of weave together and make these beautiful melodies. And then on top of that, you get the hand drums, which the hand drummers basically support. Traditionally, they support the rhythms that come out of these drums.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's hear what these sound like.
These are called a shiko. They've got a, let's see, that's got a these are calf skin.
Calf skin.
And I believe this is yellow cedar and red cedar. Yeah, see the stripes?
Beautiful work.
And yeah, these are fashioned after West African drums. And again, the shape will give you a different sound. For instance, this cone shape, you get a bass and you get a tone, but if you take a shape like this, that's more goblet, you get a deeper bass,
so, yeah.
Huh? Yeah, and a higher note on the edge, right?
Beautiful.
And of course the skin too.
What kind of skin is this one?
This one's a goat. This is called a djembe. This is the most popular drum. You see a lot of these around, goblet-shaped drums. And they originated in West Africa, what's now Mali and Guinea, that area. And yeah, they were originally carved out of like a trunk of a tree. Basically these days they're all small sections that I cut up on a table saw and laminate them together and make all these crazy shapes.
Wonderful.
And,
I love it.
Different skins, these ones are played with stick.
Different skins, different sound.
Yeah.
Now, talk to us about the drum classes, drumming circles.
Yeah, this is really good timing actually, because I'm just starting some drum classes this Thursday, the 22nd. It's basically, they're open to anybody. You don't have to have any experience, just enthusiasm, curiosity. I have lots of drums to supply, and I just get people playing some to get to know your way around the drum. We basically work 3 sounds. There's a tone, or bass, tone, right? So there's the bass, that's it. Put your thumb in. Right?
Thumb in.
Yeah.
And
So you
rings
kind
are
of
off.
pull the sound out of the drum. Think of the sound coming, that's it. So that's the bass, right?
Okay.
So if you slide your hand back and then pop your thumb out, so it doesn't hit the edge, and then you get these funny little things from hitting the edge.
Okay.
So and then you just hit like the whole meat of your finger, you just bounce off the edge. That's it, that's it. Yeah, I always say treat the drum like a hot potato. So you don't spend a lot of time on the drum. The less time you spend on the drum, take it away, yeah. See, and that's what happens. You get some people, they get a drum in front of them and they just can't stop.
Want to join me?
Oh, no, you're doing fine.
So your drumming appeals to all ages? You've got a wide range of people that want to come in and join you?
Yeah, and I do schools too. So I do lots of kids at schools, and I've done different groups like brain injury groups, because it's very good for the brain.
Very good for the brain. Good for the hands. It's very physical.
Just be very, I always say, be very nice to it. Be nice to your hands, because the drum always wins. If you start smacking away, you're going to hurt your hand.
VooDoo Dave. Check out VooDooDave.com if you want more information on his amazing drum circles.
That's right, and I have classes coming up starting Thursday the 22nd, open to anyone.
Yes, he does. Thank you, Dave. Awesome. And I'm going to drum it on over now to Joanne. She's going to talk to us about BC FoodWorks. Over to Joanne.
There we go.
Thank you, Liz and Dave. It's really interesting to hear all these different sounds and textures that are made with the skins and the wood. I was educated and would like to know more. And now I'm delighted as well to be educated by Sharif Kishawi, who's here with us tonight. He is going to be talking about BC FoodWorks, which is a government-funded program to help food processors rapidly grow their business. Now, this sounds to me like an opportunity for job creation. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, thanks, Joanne. The BC FoodWorks, it's an entrepreneurial accelerator program that would help food processors in BC to rapidly grow their businesses. BC FoodWorks is funded and part of a growing forward program. It's government, federal, and provincial, and it aims to eventually increase job creations and grow agri-food businesses. This project is managed by Ethos Career Management Group through our offices in BC, and with support with our partners and subcontractors all over BC. So yeah, that's the program, and it's very good for food processors, for functional food, and for natural health, to help them grow their businesses if they have by providing mentoring, training, workshops, business coaching, and specialized consulting in order to help them in various management and business areas such as business planning, human resources planning, marketing research, risk management, according to the client's needs and wants.
Well, that sounds wonderful. It sounds like not only a chance is it to have more people growing food in our region, but it's a chance for them to do the business right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially nowadays, the business owners are really focused on doing their businesses, and whenever they need resources, instead of like go figuring it out or go looking for it, the program will offer them up to 6 month window of time that they're going to provide all these resources. They're ready for them if they need training courses in a certain business area, or if they need business coaching or specialized consulting directly, for example, for their packaging, for export marketing, for any kind of business aspect that would really help them to rapidly and accelerate their growth. So any food processor or functional food or a natural healthy producer are ready to take off, we'll be helping them in order to rapid and accelerate their growth.
Well, it sounds like you're very passionate about this. I mean, it sounds like it's win-win-win.
Oh, yeah.
Win for the community, win for the food industry, and win for entrepreneurship in our area.
I'm looking at the results of the expected results of this program, that increasing the agribusiness networking and promoting BC Works, creating more jobs. I'm really passionate about that, and I'm thinking this program will provide high value for many food processors all over BC.
Okay, and so to conclude, they would simply go to BC FoodWorks, BCFoodWorks.com.
So for more information,
and to
bcfoodworks.com. Go see our application process. It's fairly easy.
Okay.
And you may just give us a call, and we would be more than happy to guide you through the application process and let you know what exactly the process, whether through our online system or through email.
Okay, well, thank you again, Sharif, for coming tonight and sharing all this wonderful information. It's certainly going to be helpful for a lot of people.
Thank you.
And now I would like to turn back to James. James is going to be performing a song for us in his native language. And I will throw it to James because I have misplaced the title. Sorry.
My song in Vietnamese is Trái tim bên lề. Vì em đã chót yêu ai, em mãi vô tình không nhận ra. Tình yêu anh đã trao em bấy lâu nay, một trái tim bên lề rất đau, vì biết em chẳng hề biết. Đã biết bao ngày bên em là anh đã có bấy nhiêu ngày yêu em, nhưng em vẫn ngây thơ không biết tình anh. Thầm yêu em nên tim đau rã rời. Anh đã thấy bao người yêu em, tim anh đã nhức nhối thinh lặng bên em. Nhìn em yêu tuy ngay đây nhưng rất xa xôi, vì tim em đã chót trao ai rồi. Tình yêu không kín cho em đã bao ngày thầm lặng, nhìn em không nói nên câu nói chi đây. Lòng xót xa đi bên đời em và thấy em chịu nhiều đắng cay, mà tim anh đây vì yêu em nên đau rã rời. Vì em đã chót yêu ai, em mãi vô tình không nhận ra tình yêu anh đã trao em bấy lâu nay. Một trái tim bên lề rất đau, vì biết em chẳng hề biết đâu tình yêu anh đã trao em rồi. Em đã biết bao ngày bên em là anh đã có bấy nhiêu ngày yêu em, nhưng em vẫn ngây thơ không biết tình anh. Thầm yêu em nên tim đau rã rời. Anh đã thấy bao người yêu em, tim anh đã nhức nhối thinh lặng bên em. Nhìn em yêu tuy ngay đây nhưng rất xa xôi, vì tim em đã chót trao ai rồi. Tình yêu sâu kín cho em đã bao ngày thầm lặng, nhìn em không nói nên câu nói chi đây. Lòng xót xa đi bên đời em và thấy em chịu nhiều đắng cay, mà tim anh đây vì yêu em nên đau rã rời. Vì em đã chót yêu ai, em mãi vô tình không nhận ra
James. It is my great, great honor to introduce and have Kevin Owens on our show. He's the owner and funeral director of Evergreen Cremation Center. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And you know what? We never have conversations about what happens afterwards. We know we're not going to get out of life. We're not going to get out of here alive. So I'd like you to give us what exactly you do, because we don't, a lot of us don't know what you do, what a funeral director does.
True enough. For the most part, funeral directors are involved once a person does pass away. We do the registrations with the governments. We deal with all the medical side of things in order to get the documentation prepared for notifying vital statistics. As I said, creating the death certificate that the executor is going to need, as well as to arrange either the cremation or the burial, depending on what the executor is wanting to take place.
Perfect.
We also arrange for the service side of things, assuming that the funeral home will be involved. And if the funeral home is not involved in the ceremony, we simply give information to make things easier for the people who are looking after things. I
liked how you said when we were talking before the show is that you can't make things better, but you can make things easier.
Yes.
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 No, I like that. So, and also we're saying is there any tips or advice that you can give to people for planning their own funeral or family members? Yes,
the biggest thing that you can do is actually to pre-arrange. Sit down with your family, take the time to figure it out what it is that you are wanting, talk to your family what they need when you pass away, because a lot of the times it's not the same thing. You yourself may say that you don't want to have a big ceremony, that you don't want to have a viewing or that sort of thing, but it may be something that your children require, something that they need. So basically just let them know what you want, they let you know what they need, and if you do things ahead of time, you can check out the various options, you can find out the various costs, and it's done before there's a panic and all the stress of somebody actually's death taking place.
And that's a good point that you made too, because a lot of people don't realize is what the living needs, what the children need. Maybe you don't want a celebration, maybe you don't want any of that, but perhaps the living needs that. Very much so. The amount of times that speaking with friends and family of my own that they say that it doesn't really matter, they don't need to pre-arrange because they're dead. Yeah. You do it for your family, you do it for the people who are left behind. That's the reason why you pre-arrange. It makes things easier for them all around. And then if you take it to the next level, the next level of actually prepaying for your services, not only does it lock in today's prices so it goes against inflation, but it also, the funds are put into either a insurance or a trust, so your funds are federally insured. They're guaranteed that nothing will happen to them until such time as they're actually needed. Oh, very good points. Things that we don't think about for sure. So now, what I really like to talk about is the different ways of burial and the cremation of remains. So there's the Living Reef Memorial, which is, can I use the word sustainable? Absolutely. Okay, tell us about that, because that's really neat. Okay, so I've just recently been dealing with Robert Sarney, who is the head of the Turtle Sea Rescue, or Sea Turtle Rescue, as well as the Living Reef Memorial out of San Diego, California. We, together with his staff and myself, are trying to bring it up to the Strait of Georgia. And what it is we're taking locally harvested seashells, we're taking the cremated remains of a loved one, sand, and a little bit of ocean-friendly concrete, mixing them together into a mold that is specifically engineered to basically do the habitat in the strait to produce a better biological funding or functions for the ocean sea creatures. And we do have photos for that, I believe. Yes. So I'm going to wait till there they are. Yes. So what are we looking at right here? Well, basically that is one of the reef blocks itself. So the various holes in the sides have been designed for the various types of sea creatures that would be in those waters. So the one that you're looking at there is actually from California. Okay. The ones that are being produced up in the Strait of Georgia will be slightly different because the marine life itself is different. Right. Yeah. No, and I think that's really good because it's something that you can turn a positive and have a legacy and do something good for the environment as well. Absolutely. folks, we have run out of time. We can talk 5 minutes went by forever on this. And so if you do want more information about Kevin and about the Evergreen, we have it at www.evergreencremationscenter.com. Center.com.
Yes.
Please check it out. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
And where is Matt Carter? Where is Matt Carter? There he is.
I'm right over here, Tara. It's so great to see you back. I'm just leaning on Max's hat, actually, for some strange reason. Anyways, thank you very much, Tara. Thank you very much, Kevin. Again, serious stuff, and I know it's not easy to run a cremation center. You really have to earn your stripes. Earn your stripes. Anyhow, I'll get away from Max's hat there and get my brain back. We're not far away from the Thanksgiving weekend, my goodness, gobble, gobble, gobble. And that means the return of a wonderful artist tour, the Gabriola Island Thanksgiving Studio Tour, now in its 20th year. It's older than me, for goodness sakes. Gabriola Island, as you probably know, one of the largest concentration of artists in the workforce in all of Canada. And this year they've got 62 studios representing 81 artists that you can go in and check out their works, check out their studios through the Thanksgiving weekend. Very, very cool stuff. Not just painting, all sorts of variety of mediums, glass blowing, silversmithing, ceramics, much, much more. So again, take a Thanksgiving trip overseas to Gabriola and check out those great artists. It's the studios will be open from Saturday, October 8th until Monday, October 10th. And again, that's the Gabriola Island Thanksgiving Studio Tour. For more information, check them out online, studiotour.artsgabriola.ca. And now I'm going to do the old flippity flip, 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 flip that I was asked to do. And I'm going to flip over this way. I'm going to flip things over. See, now I've given birth to a great idea about a studio tour. It's time to give us some ideas about exercise while you're getting ready to give birth. Kasey, you know more about this than I do. Go over.
Thank you, Matt. Kasey Scott here, and I am so excited to be here today with my very pregnant daughter, Kasey Scott.
And thank you for having me.
And we have I believe Krista brought with her a list of some do's and don'ts and some things you need to think about with exercise and pregnancy.
I did bring a list. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just checking with your doctor.
Absolutely. With any pregnancy, with any medical condition, it's so important that you've got that doctor's consent.
Absolutely. Yes. And getting enough calories for your workout.
Yes, it's not so much the old thought of we're eating for two, but yes, exercise burns a lot of calories, so the workout needs calories, the baby's gonna take up a lot of calories, and there's gotta be some calories left for mom.
Absolutely. And dangerous sports and activities.
Yes, not the time to be taking up rugby or football. You wanna be careful with racket sports and twisting and turning, things like that, right?
Even if those are things that you were doing prior to the pregnancy.
That's right. You've just really got to weigh out the risk-benefit factor.
Absolutely. Wearing the right clothes for your workout.
Yeah, well, you would know more about that than me, so.
My biggest point on that is just not to have anything too tight. You don't want anything, suffocating the baby. You don't want anything tight around your rib cage either, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And temperature as well, so.
That's right. You want to make sure you're dressed for the weather that you're in or the temperature of the room that you're working out in.
Absolutely. And warming up before your workouts.
Yes, warming up, just like cooling down, so very important. You actually being pregnant, you need to take a little bit of extra time in a warm up to gradually increase that heart rate. You wouldn't start your workout by going straight up a big hill. Cooling down, you want to gradually reduce your heart rate. You want to get your body back to the state it was in before you came in. So just a little extra warm up and a little extra cool down on each end.
Awesome. And being well hydrated.
Super important. Just
before
like
your workout.
A little bit of water before, during, and after the workout. Okay. You got to stay hydrated.
Okay. The biggest thing that I want to talk about, and the most difficult for me with my pregnancy, is that you cannot lie flat on your back during any of your workouts.
Exactly. So there's just a worry that the pressure from the baby can be pressing against the vena cava, a very major vein in your body, and that's going to decrease blood flow, and that's absolutely not something we want to have happen. You're going to get dizzy, feel nauseous, all sorts of not good things.
Right. So as opposed to what I'm used to as a regular chest press on a bench, what could I do?
Yeah, well, let's trade here. You can really simply just take an elastic tubing. So if you visualize laying down, bench pressing on your back like that, here's a way to target those same muscles standing up. So exactly. Absolutely. You can use tougher elastics if you're a bit stronger and you want to work those muscles a little bit harder. You can do some chest flies. So you just got to substitute. You just got to look for some different sort of modifications there.
Yep. Yeah. Excellent. Not overdoing it.
Exactly. Listen to your body. This is not the time to be training for a marathon. This is not the time to be setting any big, huge records.
That's awesome. And as well as keep moving throughout your whole workout.
That's right. So normally in between sets, sometimes we sit there, people like to check their messages. You got to keep moving. You want to keep that blood flowing.
Yeah, same with yoga. Don't hold a yoga pose for too long.
Yoga's fantastic, but maybe not the type where you're in those 5-minute poses, more of a flow yoga. Keep moving.
Absolutely. Same with yoga. We don't want to do hot yoga. You don't want to get too hot. You don't want to work out in too high of a humidity. You don't want to
Absolutely. If you're feeling really, really hot, that baby is feeling probably double, triple that hot. Same thing if you're cold, baby's probably freezing. So always everything moderate and in the middle.
Absolutely. And at the end of your workout, getting up off the floor or up off your bench, you're going to definitely do that a lot more slowly than you're used to and a lot more cautiously.
Yeah, center of gravity is not what it was before, so you really want to be careful with tripping, falling, again, getting up too quickly, lightheadedness, stuff like that.
Awesome. And the very last thing that I wanted to kind of bring up is just keeping consistency with your workouts.
That's right. It's like brushing your teeth. If you only ever do it every once in a while, it's not really going to have any benefits. So we want to keep you moving, provided your doctor says that's the right thing to do. Keep you on your feet, keep going. Really quickly, before we wrap it up, I want to show you another exercise with your handy-dandy elastic for your back muscles. Posture is everything when you're pregnant. So we're just going to get Krista to do some rows, to stand over there. You could wrap this around a pole. She's just squeezing her shoulder blades. She's working the muscles of her back. So this is going to stop her from slumping forward, prevent getting that lower back pain.
And so even if I'm not someone who lifts weights regularly, would I start doing this because I'm pregnant?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just like anybody who sits at a desk all day long, when you've got a lot of weight or you've got a reason to be leaning forward, we've got to work that backwards. Perfect. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Chris. I am so excited for this little guy to be born. With that being said, we're going to throw this over to Jane.
So whether we're at birth or we're getting on in years, we always need to be learning something new. And today I'm here with Penny MacCourt, President of Healthwell Educators and Consultants, who's here to educate our viewers about Better Together, Age-Friendly Nanaimo, which is a project under the Seniors Connect program that is focused on the risks of seniors becoming socially isolated through educational workshops. So Penny, I'd like to ask you, tell us, what is social isolation?
Social isolation is a fairly personal thing. It's less contact with other people than a person wants. It's less frequent contact, and it's contacts that aren't satisfying to the person. This leads to people not having very much social support and feeling lonely.
Okay, and why should we be concerned about social isolation?
Social isolation is a big deal. It has an impact on individuals, on families, and also on communities and the healthcare system. On the community, because a lot of seniors volunteer, and if we lose them to social isolation, we lose their productivity. At an individual level, a lot of health consequences to social isolation, things for mental health like depression and anxiety, but also physical things happen when people are socially isolated, and often higher mortality, and also mobility issues, falls, all those kinds of things happen more frequently when people are socially isolated.
Okay. How will Better Together, Age-Friendly Nanaimo prevent or reduce social isolation?
Well, first of all, we need to know how many people in Nanaimo actually are socially isolated before we can talk about reducing it. So we're doing a telephone survey around Nanaimo for the 55 plus, and we do hope if you get a call from a researcher that you take a few minutes to answer these questions. The other thing we're doing is a public campaign. That's to the general public, but also to seniors themselves, businesses, and so forth, to increase people's awareness about social isolation so they know about the risks, and they can educate their family members, they can educate themselves, and they can also make changes in their businesses or in their homes, not their homes, their organizations that make people feel more socially included.
Okay, so this will be done through a series of workshops, and people can register at the workshops on the number that they're seeing on their screen.
That's right.
So if I was a viewer out here today and I wanted to do one small thing to reduce social isolation for a senior, what could I do?
I think the big thing is to reach out to seniors, make them feel welcome wherever they are. That could be smiling. Take note of your neighbors. Take note of the people around you. Be friendly. I mean, those are big things. Another thing you can do is train up to be a connector, to be the eyes and ears in the community for identifying people who are at risk and making sure that they get connected. And again, you can do that with the number at the bottom of the screen there. Give us a call. We can tell you how to do that as well.
And if I was a business?
If you're a business, there's a lot of barriers to people using businesses when they're older. Mobility issues, the aisles are too narrow, things like that. Also how staff interact with people. So we'll do training with businesses specifically to certify them as age-friendly, which will get more people in their stores, in their businesses who are elderly.
Is there a cost to take these workshops?
These workshops are free, and they'll be going on for the next 3 years. We can do individuals. We can also come into service organizations, into businesses, just call us and we'll be happy to come out.
Okay. So if somebody wants to volunteer or they want to get involved, they contact Healthwell Educators and Consultants to register for these workshops. And now I'd like to throw it over to Matt Carter, who is going to educate us on our wonderful musician who's here today, James Pham.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Jane. Thank you very much, Dr. MacCourt, for being here as well. Battling Loneliness, a great fight to have, so thank you so much for all your great work. And yes, a quick story about a musical guest before I bring him in. So one of my day jobs at work is at St. Jean's Cannery and Smokehouse. And at a Christmas party a couple of years, we were told there was a young man that worked in the warehouse that wanted to sing a little song, sort of, you know, at the middle of the party. And this guy just gets up, and he's from Vietnam. And he just killed it with one of the most incredible stage shows I've ever seen. You never guess at your staff party. And lo and behold, he's here today. Very, very happy to have on the show, James Pham. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Matt.
I'm telling you, that was again, killer stuff. And so I really want to talk about why the heck you wowed us. So you've been quite a performer back in your native Vietnam and also toured around North America. Tell us a bit about your music experience.
I started writing song, I don't remember when, and then one of my songs picked up in Vietnam is become famous. And it's in every Vietnamese karaoke system. And after that, you know, like some of the music company, biggest music company in the world, they call me to appear on the stage, and I touring everywhere. Big stage like Kodak Theater, and you know, every big city, I was there singing. And I love that experiences.
And it came out of not even a musical family, right? Like you basically just started music almost by chance.
No, when I was 13, the village where I lived, there's a church, a little church, and there's no piano player. And the priest told me, hey, you want to play for the choir? I said, but I don't know music. I said, you will learn. And I just pick up and play for the choir. I have no formal training at all.
Which is stunning, again, considering the quality of the piano playing and vocals we heard. We'll hear some more songs. And the last song we heard, you were singing in Vietnamese. You also do some singing in English. Did you actually learn how to sing in English first before speaking English?
I learned how to sing English before I speak English. And you know, it's weird because when I speak, there's, you know, might be an accent, but when you sing, when I sing, I just melt down. I think music is like international, it connect people together. So I got no problem singing in English.
Nice. And I guess that's probably served you well here, because I know we spoke off air about how you sang in a lot of like seniors' homes and that sort of things here. So what is the response to you coming into these homes and singing songs?
I love it. I saw a lot of tears. They hug me, they kiss me, they say, oh, James, you bring back, you know, my sweet memories, and the tears in their eyes and the hug, and I feel it. I'm happy. I'm happy.
That's great to hear, because we were talking also off air about how you're used to playing large stages, big tours, but yet you still bring the same performance style to a small, intimate show, something like that. I guess that's an important lesson for young musicians to learn, I would imagine.
To me, sing by, you know, for myself, or one audience, or 1,000, or million, it's the same. I just put my heart out there and sing. I do it all with all my heart, and that's it. That's about me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna hear some more of this music in a little bit, but I do want to ask you quickly about. I'm a big fan of Vietnamese food. And I understand you have a connection to one of the great restaurants in Nanaimo here.
Yeah, one of the famous ones now in Nanaimo is called Phở Hương. And my family actually started that one over 20 years ago. It was under the 777, the name. It's 1/3 of the size right now. But, you know, and they changed a few owners. But, you know, to me, my family food is the best.
Always, yeah. Always mom and dad and the family food, exactly, yeah. Well, James, thank you so much for being here. Again, I know you're looking, obviously, for more gigs, more performance opportunities here in Nanaimo. So how can folks find more about your music, and how can they contact you?
Oh, you can Google or YouTube me on, you know, on the internet, or Google. My stage name is Pham Khai Tuan. Pham Khai Tuan, and you see a bunch of me singing on different stages.
Perfect. All right, we're going to see you more soon right now. Again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We're going to hear some more, a classic hymn now, Amazing Grace.
Thank
James
you.
Pham on the show on Shaw TV.
that save a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. I see.
Amazing grace indeed. Thank you so much for that, James. That was absolutely beautiful. And tonight on set, we have amazing Beverley and amazing Roseleagh. Two women who've had gone through amazing grace to battle breast cancer. They're members of the Nanaimo Dragonboat Team called Angels Abreast, and Roseleagh is the president of the Dragonboat Team. And we're going to talk tonight about a wonderful documentary that is underway. It's being, actually has been shot already, it just needs to go into post-production, called The Boat. And it's about the Angels Abreast Dragonboat Team women and some of the challenges they've encountered and how they've overcome it as a sisterhood. So Roseleagh, welcome.
Thank you.
And how long have you been with the Angels Abreast team?
3 years.
3 years. And I understand there's 33 women part of the team?
Yes, yep, 33 women this year.
And how long has the Dragonboat Team been a team?
Since the year 2000, I think.
Wow, 16 years.
Yeah, in Nanaimo, we were the first team.
Wow, so. You started it all.
Not me.
But the Angels Abreast.
They did, yeah.
And very aptly named. A very appropriate name for a group of women who are rowing together to battle through all stages of breast cancer. I think that's wonderful. So
I think we consider ourselves angels.
Little horns now and then. We need that. And Beverley, you're an international award-winning documentary filmmaker with 25 documentaries to your credit. That's amazing in itself. Talk about amazing documentaries. And how did a documentary maker like yourself come to be involved with Angels Abreast?
Well, it's, I'll give you the 50-word or less version.
I like it.
I'm a breast cancer survivor for 32 years, which is amazing. And when I was sick, some breast cancer survivors came and saw me in the hospital, and they were wonderful. And I always wanted to do something to give back, but where I was living and what I was doing, there was no chance.
Right.
And so 3 years ago, I joined the team as a dragon boater, and here was a wonderful opportunity. The women were willing, and it was a good time to tell their story and sort of fulfill a dream I'd long wanted to complete. And so that's how the film got started.
Wonderful. Now, I understand that you've already shot it.
Yes.
And you're looking for funding, for support, for donations of money to help. Now, what types of things still need to be done, Beverley?
Well, it's all shot, so we're going to take it into post-production now. And we've got a very good team in place. But the film was shot on a shoestring,
Yes.
calling in favors from other production companies. And we do have to pay people to edit and do the music and so on. And so that's what we're doing crowdfunding to get the money for that.
Very good. And we have your crowdfunding website on our screen today. There's also a phone number where people can contact you,
That'd be
Beverley,
great.
if they'd like to donate. And what's your timing for the film? When do you think it'll be ready?
In the spring, I hope. We're looking at April, which seems a long way away, but that's realistic, I think. So hopefully we'll be done then, right? Right.
And I understand you're going to premiere it at the Port Theatre here in Nanaimo.
I hope so. We'll see.
Very good.
Yeah.
And there must be some beautifully rich stories in there. No, you don't want to give them all away, but how this sisterhood has come together and the strengths that come from a sense of community like this, paddling together, probably is very, very life-affirming. Let's just see your paddle there, Beverley.
Yes, yeah. Sorry. I think the boat is quite a metaphor because we are all in the same boat, but the boat sort of contains us and our stories.
Beautiful.
And I think the interesting thing is we don't ever talk about it, do we? Breast cancer particularly, in the boat. But it's been really a revelation to me to interview everybody and hear the stories. And there's a real bond because of that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, paddles up.
Yes.
And if I can ask people while it's out, let's support these wonderful women in this amazing documentary that's being shot right here in Nanaimo from a world-class documentary filmmaker, Beverley Reid. Please support the documentary. Thank you.
Wow, what a documentary that is going to be. I'm sure it's going to be very inspiring to hear about what the Angels Abreast team have been doing for all these years. I think it was the year 2000 that they started. That's a great story to hear about. And I'm back here. I want to share a great story with two great storytellers here. Deborah and Randy Vanderwolf are here from the Favour Valley, here we go, Favour Valley Acres. And Randy's going to begin by telling us about this wonderful farm of his and let us know where it's located so we can drop by and visit.
We're in Extension at 2955 Extension Road. We are Favour Valley Acres, and we are a sustainable, educational, life skills farm. And we are teaching people how to garden and animal husbandry and other things. We also do composting, vermicomposting, and we also do many other things.
And it's an instructional farm too,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, and I see from some of the photos there that you have already been instructing people of all ages.
Yes, we are including all the different age groups. We do a lot of stuff with young people, but it's not restricted to age.
Right.
It's about letting people know how to garden, how to farm, all the things that give people skills in life.
And very inspiring as well that your life mate here, Deborah, has chosen to tackle teaching me something about growing food. I can assure you that none of these digits are green. So I wish you the best of luck. And thank you, Randy, for sharing about that. And the website and email will be flashing on screen so that people can get more information about going and meeting you folks down at the farm and finding out about instruction. So I'm your guinea pig.
Very
Teach
good.
me.
What I'm going to show you today is container gardening.
Okay.
We've got the finished product up front of what it would look like after growing for about 2 or 3 months. But this is a demo of how to start of any container making holes in the bottom for drainage.
Wow.
You could use rocks, but it's heavy. So we just use whatever. We put a false bottom because you don't want a lot of dirt because it's heavy.
Okay.
So the next thing we do, Joanne, is just fill this up with dirt.
Okay, so sprinkle it across?
Just pour it in.
Okay.
Just pour it all in.
Get organic about it, eh? Yep. Oh, you're putting even more on it.
Yeah.
It smells rich and earthy. Okay.
This is a mixture of compost, dirt, and fertilizer being a manure that's aged. So the thing is, you just want to work it, and what we're going to do, you want to make it like a salad bar. You don't want straight rolls. So we got some seeds here.
Okay.
In the fall, there's certain seeds that you can plant, and it's basically a lot of the same stuff that we do during the summer.
Okay.
So what you want to do is pick a little area, just like we got there. It's clusters.
Okay, so rutabaga to go?
Rutabaga, so you just want to put it in there, good enough. And then what you want to do is you want to pack the seed down to make the seed have contact with the soil.
Okay.
So just tap it down. Then we take more of the dirt and just sprinkle it on top.
Okay.
Compact it down again.
Okay.
And then you just add your seeds.
So I get some organic carrots. Okay.
Oh, these are tough though.
Yeah, these ones are.
These are
not
tough.
organic packaging though. Let's try some of those here. Swiss chard. Here we go.
I think we need scissors.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's not coming out really easily. So I'll wait for you to.
Okay, we just use our teeth.
And there's a number of range of vegetables,
Yes.
and that can be put in.
Exactly.
So then they're all compatible to each
Exactly.
other. Right?
So the thing is, it's just a sprinkle, and as they grow, when the seeds are like an inch or two, then you thin out the weaker ones.
Okay.
Water daily, and that's the end result.
Okay. And you teach people how to plant
Yes.
in their backyards
That's
like,
right,
as well?
directly in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
But this is for the average person that may be living in an apartment, that they can have it on their balcony.
Okay, yeah, so the mini garden is very handy to have, eh? Yeah.
Affordable for everyone.
Yeah, and you have been helping the community as well with distributing your food to food banks, correct?
Yes, all our produce is gifted to the city, to Nanaimo Food Share, John Barsby Food Program, and Lady Smith Resource Center right now.
Okay, yeah.
So we are out in the public.
I've heard from a little bird that you two are really inspiring and very motivating with your selflessness to give to the community. That's wonderful.
The business pour into us, and then we just gift the produce back to the community.
Okay. Well, it's been wonderful to talk with you, Randy and Deborah, and to share your information. And again, I'm sure that people are more than welcome to find out about what's going on at Favour Valley Farms, and they can find all the information on the internet. It's a pleasure meeting you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This looks like much better soil than I put my tomatoes in this year. I didn't grow at all. This is what I should have learned right here.
Hey, come to the farm, we'll show you more.
I really will. Yeah, I must, again, for the whole local food movement, I mean, I've been involved with, or learn about food from like the Farmship, Gross Farmship Co-op, Nanaimo Food Share, and now to hear about what you guys are doing as well at this. I mean, it's great to see this scene, pardon the pun, growing here in Nanaimo. So, Joanne, thanks so much for taking this segment. Deborah, Randy, thank you guys very much for being here as well. I can definitely say we relish the opportunity to have farmers on the show. So relish, because when it comes to fresh vegetables, you just can't beat local farms. I know, because I've been there, Come on, I wasn't corn yesterday. All right. Anyways, because it means I'm wise like James Bond, who used to use his gun all the time, of course, to pepper the bad guys with shots, especially in that famous movie, that classic, View to a Kale. I believe that was View to a Kale. And if he didn't, after all, if he didn't shoot back, he'd be squashed a gored number of times. Anyways, I know the jokes are bad. Just grin and carrot. Come on now. Oh, by the way, cooking, if you're ever on holidays in Europe, up on your barbecuing your vegetables high up in the Alps, you'll get yourself a Swiss char on your vegetables there. And also, if you try to twirl while you're wearing a cotton sweater, you'll get that spinach, the cotton sweater. Anyways, well, let us continue on because it's almost time to peas out. So, before I get my phone and cauliflower for a taxi cabbage, I'm going to thank all of our guests and all of our hardworking volunteers and staff. I'm going to get kicked away from the farm here. Oh yeah, Howie's throwing stuff at me. Don't blame him. Thanks to our hardworking volunteers and staff, front of the cameras, behind the scenes. Hey, you can find more information on Shaw TV on Facebook, facebook.com/The Show on Shaw. You can also check us out on Twitter as well, Cinder Vancouver Island, and also find previous episodes of the show on YouTube or on our website as well. Now, if you want to volunteer for the show, it's a big volunteer cast and crew here. Contact Melissa Hall, our volunteer coordinator, melissa.hall@sgrb.ca. If you want to be on the show, you have an idea, story idea, personality event, any of that kind of stuff, contact our executive producer, Kate Bergen, kate.bergen@sgrb.ca. Now, we traditionally finish off the show with a song, and our musical guest, James Pham, right behind me, he's already getting warmed up on the piano. Very well-known singer in his native Vietnam, but he's going to sing for us the Canadian National Anthem. And I just found that super cool that he's, again, brought this part of Canada to the show from his background. And I got to say, on our crew here on the show, and we've got Gavin over in the camera, he's from Asia, Shinan up there in the camera, from Turkey, I do believe. Our director, Fiona, is basically the only Latvian that ever had dreadlocks. So, I mean, there's quite the incredible cross-section of cultures here, and it makes Canada so rich. I just love working and learning inside all these cultures. It just makes something so uniquely Canadian and worth celebrating. So James Pham, a musical guest with the Canadian National Anthem, O Canada.
Sing with me, everybody.
Yes.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keeps our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand